Hey everybody, Paul here. Got a fun unboxing video here. The first time I've used a dip pen ever. I ordered on eBay, vintage Speedball number 5 artist set. 8 and 9 here with this Hunt quill pen. All right, it is the next day. Last night I was making some drawings comparing the different nibs here, as well as comparing the nib drawings with a 0.7 millimeter roller ball right in this area, and my favorite fountain pen, my Jinyao 599 1 millimeter that I did drawing in this area down here. So we're going to talk about comparisons here. First, my favorite nib for the kind of small drawing that I do is actually the Hunt Globe 513EF. And this is a bowl pointed pen. It's got a concave kind of dish or bowl that holds the ink very nicely. It's a fairly stiff nib. Did a little research on this because I liked it so much. Actually, the one in the Hunt Crow Quill pen here is actually the famous 102. There's a little oxidation on that, but I looked at it closely. It's actually the Hunt 102, which is the famous nib for, especially with comic artists. So you can see I've drawn with that here. This is actually very similar to another Hunt nib that came in the set, the Hunt School round pointed nib that I drew here. Both the Hunt 102 and the School nib, they don't hold the ink very well. I mean, you can just see the difference here comparing it, say, to the 513EF Globe. Not much area there to hold the ink. It's a scratchy pen. It scratches over the paper. Very, very fine line. If you want a very fine line, these two are definitely the ones to go with. I found them very similar, the Hunt School and the Hunt 102. Not a whole lot of difference. There is a nice flex to this pen. You can see I'm getting a little bit broader variation in line. And I drew this little guy with the Hunt 102 as well. And that fits in the smaller Crow Quill holder only, not this larger one. This is the standard holder right here. The C4 with the blunt edge gives a nice chiseled line. The B5 has a broader ball on the end. Both of these have brass plates to hold the ink, so they hold the ink very nicely. This gives a very broad, round line, kind of like a roller ball, but on a much larger scale. And again, here's my Hunt Globe drawing. I drew all of this little scene and this little squirrel here with the Hunt Globe, this guy right here. To compare, I really like the 0.7 millimeter roller balls. I just like roller balls in general. You can see the kind of drawing I get there. And I really like my Jinyao 1 millimeter pen, and you can see that drawing here. So then it comes down to I really want to compare the Hunt Globe over here with the 1 millimeter fountain pen over here. First, the deeper black over on this side of using the Speedball Super Black India ink is so much better than even really high quality Koh Noir fountain pen ink that I'm using in the fountain pen. Of course, you cannot use India ink in your fountain pens. It ruins them. I've talked about this in previous videos, and I've done it before. So the blacks in this are much richer, and they're of course crisper as well, because that is just such a firm metal nib that the outlines in the drawing, if you see it, the contrast is just so intense compared to this, where the nib material is softer and it's not really grabbing onto the paper to the same degree. So it's a looser quality drawing, which may be desirable. But for me, I really like this very intense contrast that I'm getting here. So again, the edges are sharper. Also, this Hunt Globe, I can get a decent amount of flex out of it. You can see here I've varied the line here with this pen, kind of like the 102, pressing down a little harder. Drew a little crow over here as well. And I want to show some line variation here. This is done with the Globe pen, and these guys over here are done with the fountain pen. So you can see with the 1mm fountain pen, I'm not getting the same variation that I can get with the Hunt Globe pen. To show you how long the ink actually lasts in this, which is, really the best, aside from the larger C and B pens with the brass plate. This holds the ink fairly well. Okay, I'm dipping again right there, but I just want to show you some different textures here and effects you can get with this thing. I'm getting a nice fine line. For my needs, this is a perfect quality line. And I can also, let me show you how I can get more coverage there. If you lay the nib more parallel to the paper and then give a broader stroke there, almost like a brush. See that kind of coverage I can get? Now, of course, your ink is going to run out really quickly. My ink just ran out right there. But, I mean, look at that. That's pretty nice. So, I mean, the versatility of this is a lot better. I can't do that with the Hunt 102 or the school nib. You can't fill in like I just did there with the blacks. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. This is a lot of fun. It's really worthwhile to get a set of nibs like this. Find out what you like to use. I've already decided this is it for me. Now the Hunt also makes a 512, which is also a bowl-shaped nib. It's not as long, and I've read good reviews about it, so I'll definitely be picking up one of those. However, I've also read really good reviews about people who really love using this 513 EF as just an all-around good drawing pen for small drawings, as well as lettering and writing.